welcome to another great week on the Jet Set. Well, we've got lots planned for you today.
What travel headlines have us talking? I've got them coming up on Here's This, powered by thejetset.com.
And Liz DeBold-Fusco, Communications Lead for North America at Airbnb, is joining us to help us plan ahead to make sure that our summer trips are stress-free. All this and more is about to take off right here on the Jet Set.
Welcome aboard. Bobby Laurie and Nikki Noya have your ticket to travel, food, fitness, and everything you need for an on-the-go lifestyle. Grab your boarding pass. It's time to Jet Set.
Spring is here and travel news is blooming on Here's This, powered by thejetset.com. Delta Airlines is making a concession to flight attendants in an apparent move to stem the growing movement to unionize the crew. Now, the Atlanta-based carrier said in a company memo that was seen by NBC News that it will begin paying its flight attendants when boarding begins on each flight, a process that can take about 30 to 60 minutes depending on the airplane, instead of traditionally when the aircraft doors closed and the airplane is ready for departure and pushes away from the gate, like the rest of the industry does. Now, Delta will pay flight attendants half of their hourly rate during the boarding process, and the move goes into effect on June 2nd.
Okay, I really learn something new every day here. Okay, so when the plane is delayed, flight attendants are not being paid.
They're not being paid. So
Yeah.
It was funny because when this news initially broke, I was seeing comments from all these other media outlets that were like, what do you mean flight attendants aren't being paid all the time? No one realizes that during boarding, during deplaning, during a delay when they're sitting in the airport waiting, they're not getting paid.
What?
They only get paid when the door closes and the brake on the airplane is released.
So when they're trying to organize people's luggage, to get up, to make sure everybody's safe, to make sure everyone is, stuff is put away, they're not being paid during that process?
Nope. Which is usually why, especially when a lot of people ask flight attendants to help put their bags in the overhead bins, a lot of times they're like, if you bring it, you've got to put it up.
This just makes me also just be cool. When you're traveling, be courteous, polite to everyone. I had no idea, actually.
Yeah, I know.
You learn something new every day on the Jet Set.
It's something that always annoyed everyone, but after a while, that's just what the job was. And every airline had the same rule, so it's no matter where you went.
It's not like it would be different
Right, it's
anywhere
not going to be
else.
different. No, there was an airline years and years ago called USA 3000.
Whoa.
They paid flight attendants for every hour they were at work. That was a lot of money. Then they went out of business.
It'll be interesting to see what happens, but be cool to everyone up in the air.
Just follow Nikki's advice.
Yeah.
Be cool.
Just be cool.
Disney Cruise Line has released itineraries for next summer 2023 for each of its 5 vessels. Now, guests will not only get to experience the magic of Disney while they're on board, but they'll also get to sail to favorite destinations as well as new ports of call. Quote, we are thrilled to have 5 ships at sea in the summer of 2023 with a wide array of destinations for families to enjoy, said their senior vice president and general manager of Disney Cruise Line in a statement. Quote, these Disney Cruise Line sailings will take families on summer adventures in ways that only Disney can do, delighting guests of all ages with dazzling entertainment, world-class dining, unique character encounters, and the ease and indulgence of carefree days at sea and the uncompromising guest service that defines a Disney vacation.
Okay.
That's very Disney-fied.
We are going to take Sam on one of these cruises.
I have
What do you think?
always thought of will I survive a Disney cruise?
I'm not doing it without you.
I love cruises, but I don't know if I would survive a Disney cruise.
Okay, I'm gonna take Sam and I'm gonna report back to everybody because as you know, I don't know what's gonna happen, but sometimes we watch commercials of it and she's like, Mom, that looks so fun. You can wake up and go see Cinderella and Pluto. I was like, yeah, it looks great.
Stay tuned for Nikki's vacation on Disney Cruise. Hey, Disney, give us a call. We'll be right back in 30 seconds with more of the Jet Set.
She would have the best time. She'd be like, we're going
Apparently,
on a boat.
there's an adults-only area, allegedly.
Everybody wants cheap airfare, but where do you find it? You call low-cost airlines. They specialize in cheap flights, discount hotel rooms, cheap car rental rates, and with a best price guarantee. If you want the lowest prices on your airline tickets or other travel services, call now. That's right, call. That's the only way to get these rates. Experts are standing by 24/7 to get you the cheapest airfare and hotel rates available. So don't wait. Call now.
This year, nearly 2.5 million couples are expected to tie the knot in the United States, making 2022 the year of the wedding. Joining us now to discuss the latest wedding trends and what to expect this year is the wedding expert at Shutterfly, Claire Roche. Hey Claire, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. Happy to be here.
This upcoming wedding season will be one of the busiest of our lifetimes. What are some of the top trends that you are seeing at spring and summer weddings this year?
Yeah, I would say the top trend that I'm seeing across the board, no matter what kind of wedding you're throwing, is that couples are getting more and more creative. I think it's a gift that 2020 gave us because we had to learn how to accommodate. And it's something that couples have kept moving forward with, which I think is a great thing. So whether you're doing a big wedding or a small wedding, I'm seeing it all. Couples are doing what they want, not just what they feel like they have to do. And another thing that I'm noticing is that no matter what, whether you're throwing a big wedding or a smaller wedding, couples are spending about the same amount of money on their wedding. They have about the same budget. And so they're able to allocate funds to more, details or more flowers, or maybe it's that reception dress you've always dreamt of, or maybe it's the churro cart that you've always wanted. And so it's really fun to see couples customize their weddings in ways that I wasn't seeing before, which is why I love a place like Shutterfly, because they make those little customized details so easy to implement, whether it's custom napkins or favors or whatever the case is. So I'm loving seeing that. I think couples are just having more fun with their weddings.
Getting married in 2022 comes with some unique challenges. How are couples navigating things like higher prices and limited availability?
Yeah, it's a very, very real thing. It's challenging. I'm seeing it on the daily. My encouragement to couples is to prioritize the things that truly matter to you. Pick your top 3 things with your partner and focus on those, and be committed to those. And then I really encourage you to be flexible, to be willing to accommodate, to just have a flexible mindset and really focus on what matters. Because I do believe you can do a wedding no matter what budget you have. You just have to be willing to accommodate and do what it takes. So that's what I would say, because it definitely is challenging.
Where can we go for more information?
The best place to go is shutterfly.com, or find Shutterfly on all social platforms. We have lots of tips and tricks and inspiration to make your wedding planning experience all the better.
Thanks, Claire. We've got to take a quick break, but we've got lots more of the Jet Set coming up in just 60 seconds.
Lots more, Nikki.
This isn't the last break.
The show just started. It's time for your travel news booster on Here's More, powered by thejetset.com. Now, we seem to be entering the waning times of the pandemic.
Yay!
As such, travel companies look to assess what they've become. And while Frontier Airlines decided to become the go-to for travel in between North America and Cancun, JetBlue committed to the same approach, but in London. Quote, the response on both sides of the Atlantic has been overwhelmingly positive and is now widely recognized that losing JetBlue on this route would be a major setback for travelers who enjoy low fares and excellent service. We are committed to working with regulators as well as governments to identify a path to staying at Heathrow for the long term. We can contribute as we grow on this route if we are allowed to stay and compete.
Okay, so is the whole plane mint, and how fast can we go there?
Of course, that would be your question.
And also, it must be weird to be in London and see a JetBlue plane.
Yeah, it's really
there.
odd. Because when I flew home from the cruise in November from Athens through Heathrow, we saw a JetBlue plane parked there, and I was like, that's just weird.
What are you doing here?
But it's also like the smallest plane, so it's their 321, which domestically is pretty long. But when you travel over the Atlantic, it's pretty small.
Yeah.
So like you see all these huge planes, and then like there's JetBlue like hiding in the corner. So
what about like the mint service?
It's about like 50% mint, I would say. But then of course JetBlue has more legroom than most anyway in coach, because you're a JetBlue fan.
I love JetBlue. Yeah, I used to fly there all the time to Long Beach, and it was just like so easy. The whole thing was easy, but I heard something about JetBlue in Long Beach.
They're not there anymore. Nope.
What?
LAX only.
What?
I know, and I loved Long Beach Airport because it was so small. Everyone got on and off the plane through air stairs. It was just like a throwback. But no, not anymore.
What?
Yeah, an airline that you'll never fly is there.
Oh, well, it was fun while it lasted.
But it was also interesting because now JetBlue's also trying to involve themselves in this whole takeover bid for Spirit Airlines.
Oh.
Now, Frontier and Spirit had announced that they were going to merge.
Okay.
And then like out of the blue, 2 weeks later, no pun intended, JetBlue turned around and was like, no, wait a minute. They pretty much tried like a corporate takeover.
Whoa.
Yeah, like go in and just acquire the whole company without anyone being able to say anything.
Wow, they're going to Cancun, they're going to London, they want to
But
go all the places.
speaking of, so if you wanted to take JetBlue to London and like round trip is just about $600 a person.
What?
So it's not
Really?
terrible. Yeah. And Mint, I'm sure would be somewhere around like $2,000.
But the comfort you have, it's kind
But,
of like
like,
a suite, right?
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
JetBlue's Mint internationally and domestically on the planes that have it, because they also do like New York to Puerto Rico and New York to, I think, Florida, probably Cancun, and with Mint as well. It's really nice. But I'm wondering what it's gonna look like if and when the Spirit thing happens. Because have you ever been on Spirit Airlines? Dead air. That's right. That answer's a no.
I have not. No,
Yeah, no,
I haven't.
me either.
No.
So like, but I've seen and I've heard quite a lot about what happens on Spirit. They have the big front seat. It's not first class. It's just a big seat in the front of the plane.
There's just one?
No, there's two.
Yeah, so like there's
That'd
like
be hilarious
two?
if it was just one.
Yeah, so
you
there's
board
like
the plane.
two,
There's
just
Nikki's
one.
seat. Nikki's the queen of
Yeah.
Spirit today.
So there's like just one?
It looks like a domestic first class, but it's not. It's just
Okay.
big seats so there's no middle seat basically.
Okay,
just
got
two
it.
big seats next to each other, like maybe there's 4 rows of it and that's it. So you pay
Okay.
extra to sit there.
Yeah.
But then in the back, your seats are pre-reclined.
Oh.
That was the very dramatic go. So
Interesting.
when you feel like you're going to recline and relax
Yeah.
for your flight from Baltimore to Los Angeles, you're not, because it's already as far back as you're gonna go.
Oh.
Everything's for sale. Nothing is free.
Uh-huh.
And everything else, I mean, when they sell a ticket, they call it the bear fare. You're just buying the airline ticket. You're not buying anything else. You're not buying a carry-on bag. You're not buying your backpack to go with you. You're
No
not buying a
snacks.
check bag. You're not buying a snack.
No
You're not buying a
snacks,
drink.
no water, no
nothing.
nothing.
So it's a complete contrast to JetBlue, where you're getting your snacks for free. You're getting
Yeah.
your drinks for free. They used to have free check bags. They don't anymore. So
But
I don't
some
really know
people love
like,
it.
how that would mix
I don't know.
really well. I mean, unless they take somewhat of a blend from both, but
Maybe.
that would take a lot of people who flew JetBlue to Long Beach all the time, make them very upset.
Well, if anyone takes that route, report back to us. I'd like to see how it goes.
It'd be interesting. Truth Initiative is organizing a movement of action for mental health as a part of its latest Breath of Stress Air effort to bust the fantasy that vaping nicotine is a stress reliever. Joining us today to discuss is Amy Taylor, Chief of Community Engagement for Truth Initiative, and Gianna Darville, Truth Initiative Youth Board Liaison.
We are exposing the connection between vaping and mental health, and we're doing that by calling a vape for what it is. It is a depression stick. It is elevating young people's feelings of anxiety and stress. We launched a campaign called Breath of Stress Air, and it's all about busting the fantasy that vapes are a stress reliever. And actually what they are is they're a stress amplifier. We launched a moment of action where we have young people from all across the country, superstars like Gianna, who are in town to talk to decision makers and share their authentic stories about how vaping is affecting their mental health, and to really tell decision makers that there is an urgency around this issue and that they need to do something about it.
We've been here in DC talking to people from the White House, talking to the Department of Health and Human Services, and even just getting out on the National Mall and talking about how vaping nicotine really can increase those feelings of stress and anxiety. And so it's been an awesome experience getting to have those discussions and getting to lead some breathing exercises on the National Mall yesterday as an act of self-care and powerful activism, because we know that breathing exercises can actually help with some of those feelings of stress and anxiety that nicotine cravings can cause. And so being able to share facts, being able to share information, share practices that can help has been so phenomenal. And getting to talk to young people from all over, from Tennessee, from New York, from Florida, has made it such an incredible information sharing and story sharing opportunity to equip each other before we go back to our homes all across the country and continue to implement change there.
To get more information or to get involved, please go to truthinitiative.org.
Thank you both for joining us today. We've got to take another short break, but don't go anywhere. We've still got lots more of the Jet Set to come.
With the unofficial start of summer now just weeks away, you might be wondering, what are the new summer travel trends and destinations, and how can I plan ahead to make sure that my summer trip is stress-free? Well, thankfully, we have Liz DeBold-Fusco, Communications Lead for North America at Airbnb, here to help. Hi, Liz. Welcome back to the show.
Thanks so much for having me back.
So what are the new travel trends and what to expect from the world of travel this summer?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that one thing to keep in mind is that the world has really changed. And in 2022, people are traveling differently than they ever have before. Because of remote work, actually, we're seeing that people are traveling everywhere. They're combining living and traveling and working all on Airbnb. That's manifested in a few ways. One of which is that guests have actually already planned stays to over 72,000 cities and towns this summer. And we're also seeing that long-term stays are at an all-time high. They represent 1 in every 5 nights booked on Airbnb right now, and that's created a lot of new flexibility for people.
So what's new over at Airbnb 2022 this summer?
A lot is new. We have introduced the biggest change to Airbnb in a decade, and it includes 3 big updates. The first is Airbnb Categories. So I mentioned millions of people are now more flexible about where they live and work. And so we've created a new way to search on Airbnb designed around Airbnb Categories. So you can discover millions of homes you never knew existed. When you open Airbnb, you'll be presented with 56 categories that organize homes for you based on their style, location, or proximity to a travel activity. The other thing we've introduced is split stays. So I mentioned more people are staying for longer on Airbnb. This innovative feature provides more options for longer stays by splitting your trip between 2 homes. And then the last thing we've introduced is air cover for guests. This is the most comprehensive protection in travel, and it protects you if a host, say, needs to cancel a booking last minute, or you can't check into your listing, or if your listing isn't as advertised. We will be able to find you a similar or better home, or we will refund you.
Where can we go to learn more?
You can head to airbnb.com today to check out the new Airbnb and use it to book your summer vacation.
Thanks, Liz.
Thank you.
The world of private jet charters is growing, and if you've been looking to upgrade your travel experience, there is no better way to go. But where do you start? That's where Craft comes in. Craft is the most flexible private charter company with industry-leading consistency and quality control. They are breaking the norms of expensive and inconsistent service in private aviation. Joining us today to tell us more about this exciting charter operation is Israel Slotowitz. Hey, Israel, welcome to the show.
Hey, Nikki, thank you.
Okay, so tell us about Craft.
Sure. So Craft is an up-and-coming private charter startup that is really breaking the norms of our industry. We have a wholly owned fleet, which means that we can provide the most flexible and efficient service and with the most consistent quality. We have the highest safety standards as part of that wholly owned fleet. And our culture is really unique too, just with the nature of our full-time staff. So we really get the feeling of a family in the sky. Another really unique point about our service is that we are able to accommodate some very complex last-minute itineraries. For an example, if you wanted to fly to a ball game and then fly home that same night, that is something that we would be able to accommodate where a lot of other companies couldn't due to crew and aircraft limitations.
Oh, that's amazing. Okay, so how does it work? How do you start?
So we are an on-demand service. Unlike some of the jet cards or fractional programs, you don't need to buy in or pay a monthly membership fee. You would call us on demand. We can have an airplane anywhere in the country within 2 hours time. The aircraft we operate are the Bombardier Challenger 300, which is a phenomenal and excellent, very capable charter aircraft. So you would reach out to our sales team and we would be able to get you an aircraft within 2 hours notice.
Oh, amazing. Okay, so what can someone expect when they're actually using Craft?
Well, I think first and foremost, they can expect a superior experience. You know, the U.S. private charter industry, I feel, has gotten sort of lazy, and the business model has been the transportation business. When in fact, I think we're really in the luxury customer service business. So this is another major keystone of our business model, is providing that bespoke luxury experience and making our clients feel really special.
Oh, this sounds so amazing. Israel, where can people go for more information and to book their trip on Craft?
Sure. Well, you can visit our website, craftcharter.com, or call us anytime.
Thank you so much for joining us.
My pleasure.
Okay, Bobby, here it is. It's the last break. We'll be right back with more of the Jet Set. Don't go anywhere. This is the last one.
All right, now whether you visited the turtles, sharks, or penguins, these educational animal encounters are probably what you first think of when you think of SeaWorld. But there is so much more. Take a look.
Hi, my name is JP. I'm the Vice President of Zoological Operations at SeaWorld Orlando, and today we're speaking to 40,000 animal rescues. Rescue, rehabilitation, return SeaWorld's been doing since 1965. You know, we've rescued over 25,000 birds, 8,500 sea lions and walruses, 800 manatees that are threatened, 2,500 threatened and endangered sea turtles, 500 dolphins and cetaceans. And what can you do to help us with that? Well, there's a couple things that I want you to know. Everybody that comes to our park is helping with that. A portion of every single ticket goes to my rescue teams and what they do out in our natural environment. You can take your trash, pick it up, recycle it, return it back to the trash can instead of our natural environment. That's a huge help. And top that off, if you see an animal in need, do me a favor, call the local authorities. They'll call us, we'll rescue them, we'll rehabilitate them, get them healthy, and we'll return them back to their natural environment.
Thanks for watching this week, and stay tuned next week and see all of our adventures.
We're going somewhere soon.
I know, and I'm so excited. It's some place that I've never been.
I've been there.
Ooh.
Finally, someplace I've gone. I'm taking her with me. Follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/thejetsettv. See you next week, everybody.
Bye.